So, welcome everyone again. Thank you for joining us for Mentor Collective's Product Spotlight Series, Conversation Sparks. My name is Jasmine, and I'm on the marketing team here at Mentor Collective, and I'm excited to kick off today's webinar. A few housekeeping notes as we get started. This webinar is being recorded, and we'll send you the recording and some additional resources in a follow-up email. On the screen, you'll see a few tips to ensure a smooth virtual experience today. We recommend adjusting your video layout to speaker view for the best experience. We'd also love to know where everyone is joining from, so feel free to share your name and your institution or organization in the chat. Throughout the session, you can drop questions in the chat or use the Q&A feature. And if you like what you hear, let us know with reactions. And now I'm going to hand it off to Annemieke Rice, who is our speaker today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name's Annemieke. I'm the head of product transformation here at MC, and I'm very glad to have you all here. This is the second in our product spotlight series. This is a chance for us to kind of pull back the curtain and share how we've been building our platform, which challenges we're trying to overcome for our partners, for our users. And so whether you're working on student belonging, retention, career readiness, talent acquisition, employee growth, this session has something for you. Today, we're going to walk through what we're hearing from our participants, how we're designing to meet those needs, and what's here as we build the mentorship infrastructure for the AI era. So thank you so much for being here. Let's jump in. Where we're headed today, we're going to start with the problems at hand, why they're imperative to solve, a little bit about the learning career journey and how it's not working for all. We'll explore how AI is allowing us to personalize mentorship while keeping people at the center. And today in particular, we're focused on our newest feature, Conversation Sparks. You're going to get a live look, how it works, who it's for, what it solves. And finally, how this feature fits into our broader product vision, that infrastructure of always on, tech-enabled human support that's boosting belonging, persistence, and readiness. So the feature is already rolling out as we speak. Let's dive in. I want to talk a little bit about the big picture and the landscape, the problem that Mentor Collective is committed to solving here. Despite many decades of effort, that path from education to meaningful employment still has many challenges and is deeply fragmented. Institutions want to prepare learners, employers want to hire and grow workers, learners want to succeed, but often these are working in isolation. No shared infrastructure, no shared signals, no shared accountability. There are 92 million Americans in low quality jobs. They're out of the workforce altogether. Employers are seeing more degrees and credentials, but still can't find talent with the skills and readiness they need. And in higher ed, staff are stretched thin, facing lots of complexity with fewer resources and less continuity. Everyone is trying their best, but the systems aren't built to work together. Folks are lost and overwhelmed. And that's the question, is what is missing and how can we help? Across higher ed in the workforce, these support systems are closed, siloed, or transactional. In education, that could be a platform that doesn't connect across the institution. At work, it could be a mentorship program that stops after 90 days of onboarding. These closed systems don't link to a broader ecosystem, so support stays isolated, or siloed solutions are stuck in a single moment like onboarding orientation with no continuity, or transactional tooling has one-off shallow interactions that don't have the trust and accountability needed for real evolution and growth. So what's missing here is infrastructure that builds trust, generates insight, and connects people to mentors, resources, and purpose. And this is where mentorship comes in, not as a bonus feature, but as the connective tissue that our systems are missing. Mentorship builds what tools cannot: trust, perspective, accountability. It meets people where they are, whether that's a learner seeking belonging or a worker growing into their role. But it doesn't stop there. It also connects individuals to the ecosystem around them. And done well, it becomes the infrastructure that ties life stages, milestones, and systems together. For Mentor Collective, this all starts with discovery, introducing people to the right mentor connection at the right time. From there, as we're going to dive into today, sparking growth with nudges that keep conversations meaningful, proving impact with real-time ROI dashboards. And we have the evidence of this, opening doors through mentorship, connecting people to capital, opportunity, jobs, projects that they didn't otherwise have. What sets us apart at Mentorship Collective isn't just one feature, it isn't just today's feature. It's that we're proactive, insight-driven, and we're going beyond these conversations to real opportunities. That is what makes mentorship scalable and transformative for your organization. So to get us started today, I want to start with a little pop quiz. Jasmine is going to drop this in front of all of you. This is a little bit of, did you read the webinar abstract here? When someone is matched with a mentor, so we asked thousands of our participants this question, what do you think is the biggest reason they hesitate to initially reach out? Is it that they don't know what to say or what questions to ask? Are they worried about wasting the time or bothering the mentor? Are they uncertain about their goals for mentorship, or are they scared to say or do the wrong thing? Take a minute, make your guess. What's the majority of our participants saying? And then Jasmine, when you feel like we've got a good amount of responses, we can reveal where we're at.
Yep, it looks like 63% are saying don't know what to say or what questions to ask.
Which is great. All of you read the emails. Good job. Yes, this is what brought us today. We asked our participants to understand the scope of this problem, and we found that 74% of them hesitate before reaching out to a mentor. So this is very interesting. So 3/4 of participants are having some type of hurdle, obstacle, or hesitancy. And then within that group, the largest barrier is uncertainty. 33% of all mentees say, I don't know what to say. This is half of those who are hesitating. This is learners, workers across all type of mentorship programs this past August. All right, moving forward a little bit here, next poll or quiz. In just a moment here. What we wanted to understand from those who are seeking hesitation is a little bit more about why that might be. So we hear mentees say, I don't know what to talk about, and mentors also say, I struggle to keep the conversation moving, or my mentee didn't reach out or didn't respond, or they ghosted me after a conversation. And we know that this is hampering outcomes for all of you. So we looked at what they said about why they won't reach out. And what we heard from those participants was it's social anxiety, communication anxiety. They feel shy, they feel awkward. They're a fear of being perceived wrong. They're afraid of being a burden. They're worried about how their questions might come across, or they're worried that my question isn't important enough to bother someone else, or that they're too busy. And then finally, the lack of direction. I don't know what to say to my mentor. I'm not sure how to use them to accomplish my goals. And I feel overwhelmed. I don't know how to start. So here we go on our next pop quiz. What percentage of these participants would connect with their match more often if they were given clear ideas of what to discuss? So what's your bet here? Is it 14%, 34%, or 64% of participants who would say, if I knew what to say, I would meet with my counterpart more often?
Looks like 83% of the folks here say the answer is 64%.
You are correct. Yeah, so most of these folks are indicating that having specific questions or topics to discuss is what would make a difference. And so what you're also seeing from these data is a little bit of our behind the scenes process in real time, identifying problems from the perspective of our partners, identifying pathways of clear outcomes from the perspective of the data, and then engaging directly with participants and user research to solution for that and to get that in a place of solutioning for them. So 64% say they would connect more frequently with their users if they had clear topics to talk about. And this isn't just about their discomfort. This isn't just about having a conversation. We know when participants don't engage, mentorship programs can't deliver the results they need to. We also know from a decade of data that at least 3 conversations logged is associated with the best outcomes that you care about: retention, belonging, engagement, readiness, mobility. But without the confidence to initiate and sustain the dialogue, those conversations might never occur. They might falter. So this problem is compounded by social anxiety. It's compounded by learners and workers turning to generic AI tools to answer their questions instead of reaching out to real people. They're seeking help, but they're not seeking human help. This directly informed the development of Conversation Sparks, the feature we're talking about today. This is built on all of these data sources that we have from the past 10 years and the study of the behaviors that lead to successful outcomes. And that same intelligence is now powering personalized prompts to help every single mentorship pair succeed. So Conversation Sparks provides mentees and mentors with exactly what they need: timely, personalized prompts directly on their dashboard. These are not generic icebreakers. They're conversation starters designed to spark and sustain meaningful two-way dialogue, both for mentees to bring up to their mentors and for mentors to reach out to that mentee to help overcome that social anxiety if it's being faced. Each of these sparks is generated from participant matching data to make sure that the prompts are really relevant to that specific pairing and relationship. So let's talk a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish here. First, personalized support. Because we're using matching survey data where each of the counterparts, the mentee and the mentor, talk about their life experiences, their aspirations, their hobbies, their career interests, their study interests, whatever it might be. Because it is based on the participants talking about themselves and what they want out of this relationship, the conversation prompts are really individualized experiences at scale, leveraging generative AI. Because we know that engagement, these sparks will drive engagement, this feature is designed to alleviate that number one barrier of not knowing what to say, and also fostering that meaningful connection to drive the best outcomes. I want to talk a little bit about the actual experience before I jump in and show you a demonstration of it. Here's how it works. One, it's always available. So upon login, 3 conversation sparks will appear on both participants, mentee and mentors dashboards at all times. They'll be able to cycle through 10 total suggestions. And the product incorporates AI technology, so you'll see a sparkle icon here and a text indication that this is a generative AI feature. And that's an industry indicator for AI features that users will understand. The second element of this is that it's personalized. So the prompts are generated from those matching survey responses. And the system will also proactively nudge the users immediately after matching and a few days later if they have not initiated contact, encouraging them to use the Conversation Sparks feature. So while we know that folks are telling us that having these sparks would make a difference, we're also assuming that they might need a few nudges and reminders to take advantage of that and tracking on the impact that that has. Participants can also interact with these features. So there, as you can see on the little Giphy that's rotating on the screen here, there are emojis to indicate what's helpful. This is really important to the success of the product and what is generated for the users, because this allows our feedback mechanisms to become smarter. They can favorite, which is going to pin a conversation spark for them to use. They can like or dislike different sparks to give us feedback, and they can generate new options as well. And then finally, these are goal-oriented. So the 40 years of metadata on meta research on mentorship tells us that mentorship, when goal-oriented, is the most impactful. And it also tells us that mentorships need psychological safety, trust and rapport, and a sense of personal connection before you can start talking about durable skill development, career development, etc. So you'll find there are these cute little coffee cup icons for icebreaker questions to help build a personal relationship, getting to know you questions, and goal-oriented questions, that's the rocket emoji here, for discussing career objectives, so things relevant to the learner or worker's future path and journey. Here are a few specific examples of sparks that I've seen being generated. Have you explored hiking trails around campus yet? This is something that a mentor might be prompted to ask a mentee based on the fact that the mentee is interested in hiking. What type of internship are you hoping to get in the career medical field? If we know the field that they're in and we know that one of the goals of mentorship is internship, the mentee could ask the mentor, how has your background in creative arts influenced the way you approach your career in engineering? Or what resources do you wish you had known when you first came to insert this institution? Let me show you about the exact experience that a user might have here, starting with being nudged to access their conversation sparks. All right, so here we have an email that's letting me know about the availability of conversation sparks. I'm logging into my participant dashboard where I can see all of my conversation sparks available to me. I can generate more if I'm interested in a few more. I can pin and then also give feedback using that thumbs up, thumbs down emoji. And then when I find a spark that feels right, I can immediately go to email my mentee or mentor and start a conversation with them. We're tracking a lot of behind the scenes metrics here to see how this is sparking initial outreach or followed up outreach as well. Very simple feature, really easy for users to access, use to their benefit in a very short amount of time. So the impact of conversation sparks for you, what can you expect? One, you can expect sparks to build confidence for mentees and mentors. While mentors don't face the same outreach concerns, they do want their mentees to be successful. And so having these tools in front of them to help their mentees overcome anxieties will make a difference in confidence building. Second, stronger engagements. We are tracking and following for more conversations from the pairs as a result of conversation sparks and a greater stickiness factor of these relationships. And then clear ROI. We know that when more conversations happen, when engagement deepens, that we're developing those durable skills, those non-cognitive affective skills in all of our participants in these areas. So this ROI is so clear. This is why we're really excited about the opportunities that Conversation Sparks will unlock for us. Now, the fun part here, this is available now. This is live in the system today. It was live in the system last week. Thank you to a few of our early access partners who were having some of the first debuts of this feature. But this is live for all of our Mentor Collective customers today. This is available to all customers at no additional cost. All of the sparks are generated after a pair is matched using their matching survey responses. So they'll need to complete the matching survey on both sides and then see their sparks in real time or quickly after that matching survey was created. And then, as I mentioned before, they're notified about sparks. So if they didn't notice them or we might want to remind them that they're there to help them. They'll be receiving email and text notifications and also seeing in-app guidance. So something I did not demonstrate is using some of our tooling to kind of bring them to that section of the page, make sure they're aware of it the first time that they log in to increase their visibility of the tooling. I'm going to just pause a few questions here that I see in chat about how the feature works before I keep going. So first question was, do the questions only live on the dashboard? Do they also go to their SMS? So based on this, they are on the dashboard and one of them will be pushed out to their SMS and email as an example, as like a teaser to get them back in, because we do want them to see more of them, to generate more, to interact with the system, to give it some feedback. But there will be a little bit of a teaser for each of them on the personalization side. And yes, the topics come exclusively from matching surveys. They come from almost all questions in the matching surveys. We have excluded some of the biodemographical data so that there's no, for instance, race-based expectations of questions. So it's more about aspirational questions like goals, life experiences. Participants who put open-ended content in the matching surveys will get much richer sparks than others. We've seen that from some of the data as well. And yes, all of the participants are actually getting the orientation as they log in. And also our wonderful marketing and customer success team has documentation about this feature that we'll send in follow up as well, and access to like that little video I just showed you so that you can see it yourself. You can show it off. Maybe some of your super mentors, lead mentors, ERG leaders, student leaders that you might want to have conversations with us about this as well. And then finally, for one other question that I saw here in chat before I continue, is it best for the mentee or the mentor to reach out? A lot of the research on mentorship suggests that the impetus should be on the mentee to start the conversation. And I think that because it is goal-oriented, that is valuable. However, we do see lots of mentors struggle with the feeling that their mentee is not able to effectively start the conversation. And so overall, the recommendation is to reach in addition to support and coach others to ask for help and to ask for what they need. And that's part of why we made a very specific strategic decision to provide sparks for both parties, not just for the mentee. All right, I'm going to move on to the future now, and we can come back to questions at the end as well if I missed any. This is our first AI feature, and it's I want to make a few promises to you. One is that AI is the tool, not the strategy. This particular feature is using generative AI as an engine for personalization. We're using that all the new technology available to us to make the platform the strongest it can be and deliver value to each one of you. But it is not in of itself the value. Second, data security is a top priority. Nothing has changed in our promises and commitments to compliance and protections and security and privacy. We do not share any institutional or participant data with third parties to train their public AI models. So there are no changes in how data is utilized and protected for you. And then finally, humans will not be replaced by AI. We believe in the power of mentorship, and our goal is to use all of the tools available to us, including AI, to make that human to human connection more meaningful. So what's ahead for us in the Mentor Collective product? Last time we spoke, we talked about leveraging technology to guide people to meaningful connection. And with Conversation Sparks, we've really been working on enhancing what you see on the screen today, which is whether it's through technology, in person, on the phone, this connection and conversation between two people. Conversation Sparks is the first step. So today we're helping better start conversations, and tomorrow we will help you understand them. Our vision is to build a new intelligence layer for mentorship that captures the unstructured data from thousands of conversations and transforms it into the kinds of insights that help you see in real time. Skills gaps in new hires, a sense of belonging across your entire population as it adjusts over time, not just a moment in time, or readiness, the confidence of your intern population. And by moving beyond the foundation of activity tracking of is a conversation taking place to a rich qualitative understanding of the mentorship, we will empower each of you to prove your impact, to make smarter decisions, and to scale those human connections for success. This is a key part of how we're building a future where mentorship is not a standalone program, but an integrated, intelligent engine for growth and opportunity, sparking connections, measuring their impact, scaling these processes, and ultimately creating that network to fuel careers, mobility, and success of your learners and workers. All right, Jasmine, I'll pass it off to you to wrap up. And as we're doing so, I'm just going to scan the chat to see if anyone else has other questions before we wrap up today.
We did have a Q&A question.
Oh, great, please.
So is there a process for submitting new or configuring the question prompts to save?
Is there a process for, say it one more time?
Is there a process for submitting new or configuring the question prompts to save?
I'm not sure I completely understand the question. Maybe if someone wrote that, they can chat it. Yeah, I might need a little more detail from whoever asked that.
If Haley wanted to add some more context there, that'd be great.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Haley. Any other questions that came through Q&A, Jasmine, or did I miss any in the chat here?
That was the only one. Let's see.
Can we submit suggestions for the questions that populate? Okay, maybe, oh, yes, okay. So the questions that generate are based on generative AI. So the back end of this is a prompt based on how best to create questions that match personalized information between the mentees and mentors. They are generated on the fly. They are not hard-coded questions. They are based in a very heavily personalized manner just for those unique people. So they might not ever be reused again. They're in addition to the conversation sparks, of course, we still have our discussion guides, which have great overall guidance for folks on how to start conversations. Deep, rich guidance is still available to them in addition to that. And you can also add custom resources for your organization as well. When should we expect to start getting nudges? Nudges are cascading on a logic model way, so throughout the day today, and then they're conditional, so they will depend on whether someone has logged a conversation yet. They're also based a little bit on like, do you have a matching survey result from both partners, or have you already been matched? So there's a lot of math behind the scenes about the nudge going out, as we mentioned, timely at the right moment. So as at when the match was made, or shortly after the match is made. And also, our entire wonderful customer success team is primed on this product. And so if you have really specific questions about your programs and your participants, do not hesitate to reach out to them. They also have access to our product team behind the scenes to get you detailed answers to how this is working within the context of your specific program. Yes. Including documentation, our follow-up email has links to an entire help section for videos and materials that you can access and that you can also use to help support your students. All right. Jasmine, would you like to wrap us up?
Yeah, for sure. So before I get into an upcoming webinar we have, I did just want to launch a poll. Um, if you'd like to connect with anyone here at Mentor Collective for more information on Conversation Sparks, you can do so here, and we would appreciate any feedback on today's webinar. I'm also going to drop a link in the chat if you want to connect that way. So, all right. So the upcoming webinar we have is this month, and it's Halloween focused. We are going to host it on October 29th. It's called No Tricks, Just Treats, Customer Success Manager Tips and Hidden Value Unmasked. This session will be led by one of our customer success managers, and they will reveal lesser known Mentor Collective features and share practical tips to help you get even more value from your program. So we'll drop the link as well to register for that. Okay, awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for joining today. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.